dashboard is just about ready to go in the car now. What I've done is I've consolidated all the wires at the back into the minimum number of groups I can do. So I've got a connector block for the tachometer. The shift light wire comes off this and goes straight into the back of the shift wire light. And I've got a block for the speedometer. I've got a block for the group of lights that are in the centre of the dash in front of the steering wheel, with an ABS warning light, a brake fluid warning light, and an oil level warning light. The ignition light is actually for the seatbelt warning light. And the seatbelt warning, there's a module in here which is a 5-second timer, so when the ignition goes on for 5 seconds there's a warning light on the dashboard. And over here we've got all the gauges. This is how they were individually connected, so you can disconnect each one at a time if I need to. Typical cars coming along. It's only a cul-de-sac. You wouldn't believe the amount of traffic in this cul-de-sac. There's a block of 8 wires here which consolidates all of these gauges together. So there's 4 sensors, there's power, there's ignition power to these 4 gauges, there's permanent power to the clock, and there's light, and there's earth. And then going over to the car, we've got an earth wire here, we've got tachometer block, speedo block, and the block that does the lights in front of the steering wheel. And over here is the block for connecting the gauges. All this other wiring is going to be for switches on the centre of the console. One of those switches is the headlight unit, headlight switch, and this module here controls the headlight switch. Right, dashboard's in, everything's tucked away, everything's tied up and working. Let's just try and switch it on, see what happens. Seatbelt warning light comes on, stays on 5 seconds, goes off. All levels good. I've already had it running, so the gauges are warmed up. One thing that's concerning me, oh, it's not on now. It's not on now. The battery light was on. And it was reading 11.3 volts. But flash works, indicators work, but the bulbs are there's not got enough bulbs in there at the minute, so it's got rapid flash. Rev it. Let's just give it a quick button. Rev counter works. Got water temperature. Oil temperature comes up, but that's a bit scary to start with. I thought that was broken because that was right on the bottom of the scale and didn't move for ages. Oil pressure. Fuel gauge reading. And a clock. And all the spaghetti down here is going to be sorted out later. Everything seems to be working. That's better now. The alternator is definitely charging, and the light's off on the dashboard, which is what I would hope. This fan's spinning around a bit fast. I'm wondering if maybe the The coupling's buggered. Can't stop with my hand. Can't stop with my hand. Should be able to stop it with my hand. This car's got aircon, so if I turn the aircon on, let's just put the fan on. The aircon fan runs. That's the aircon fan running. What I don't know is whether the aircon's actually working. It doesn't feel particularly cold, but it might just need a regas. But these vents are working superbly. There's the vent that I put this vent in as well. We've got no centre vents, so I've got to use these vents instead. But they're doing a good job. Obviously we've got the vents down here. And same on the other side. Same on the other side, I've got a vent here. And I've got a vent here. Quite chuffed.